Hello and welcome to episode 16 of our Timberborn 1.0 experimental playthrough with the Folktales faction, cycle 29, day 12. We got 2 days left until we have, once again, another drought come into our settlement here. But we have long since solved the problems of food and water stability, and now we're just kind of playing with fluids, building some interesting things, and exploring the new game mechanics. And we've recently got an update to some of the textures here, specifically how this dam is a little bit more beavery, I think, to borrow what Mechanistry said in the dev diary thing there. But I think this looks fantastic. It is such a big change in terms of like the look and feel of the texture. You can see it's got more of a rounded presence here on the side, like an actual log. And then the top still has that refined look and feel that we've recognized for this past, 4 years? Of this game being in early access. Yeah, but I like that change a lot. I think that looks very nice. I know the Iron Teeth have their own slightly different colored version. But last time, we put all these housing units in here, and we've got these agoras. Right off the bat, I do want to change a couple of these to be water, so that these beavers can get a drink while they're having their meetings and whatever they do with the extract in there. And we've got a couple other things we want to take care of as well. I did set these beavers in motion last time, building a big tunnel to connect here to here, so there can be a bad tide drain. And they are making some nice progress there. We will have to check in on this from every now and again. We also got this more or less all cleaned out. It looks pretty clean to me, and now we have a pretty nice source of clean water. But we have a problem, folks, and that is this is draining all of our clean water off the side of the map. So what I think I'm going to do here is put in a sluice gate and have this only activate when there is contamination present. Just a simple overflow mechanism. I don't necessarily want to come in and put a giant tunnel somewhere. But this is only going to open in the incredibly unlikely event that some sort of cataclysmic pollution event occurs. Which you know as well as I do if you've watched all these videos that that's entirely possible. But that's going to help seal this thing up. And then on the top of that, we can put either levees or we can put dirt. I think for the purposes of preserving the look and feel of this area, I'm going to put dirt there. Which is a good segue to what's next, and that is to figure out if we've accidentally placed our dirt excavator in the way of some major infrastructure. And fortunately, the answer to that question seems to be no. That was a very, very concerning thing that I was reminded of in the comments of last episode. Like, hey, you might want to make sure before there's a problem. But no, it seems we missed that entirely. It's already at the bottom of the map anyway, so it's not like we could have done anything. Well, that's good to know. It's going to keep giving us a dirt, so we can do fun stuff like, reroute water flow, so on and so forth. So we do have clean water coming through here. Like I said, we want to keep that clean water where we want to keep the clean water. And right now, this is still kind of full of nonsense. So I think what's going to make the most sense, I don't want this necessarily to all be full of clean water as a function of what I'm trying to do here. But I'm also not opposed to it. I don't think that's a bad idea. So I'm kind of inclined to let this just fill up. It looks like it's going to start coming over there, but what I don't want is I don't want that to be mixed clean and dirty water, so I really probably should let this evaporate. But as you know, that is something I don't even need to finish it. You already know. So for now, I'm going to leave this sluice open so we don't mix these, but I am going to have them build this so it's not a problem in the future. And then once that fills up, assuming we do elect to keep these all, thank you, autosave, keep these all at the same level, then this will spill over here and run some clean water, maybe not constantly, but often enough, through here to fill this up and run through these wheels. And then if we were to remove these blockages through here and then off the edge of the map. But there's still plenty more for us to do. Like I said, previous episode, we have blocked off all of the naturally occurring bad water. We still have the drains that aren't... that actually looks kind of nice like that. We have these drains that we haven't dealt with. That's not an issue. If I can remember where it is. There we go. That has been adjusted to not be an issue. This is a non-issue. We might still end up doing something else over here, but this is designed to funnel off. And just other stuff in general. I feel like we're looking pretty okay. No real cause for concern there. So aside from getting everything connected, there's still some other stuff I'd like to do. I obviously need to, you know, do something else with this area here. But I think it's probably going to be more important for us to continue building some interesting things around the map, increasing accessibility, connectivity, so on and so forth. Maybe redesigning the zipline system to be a little bit more, or I guess a little bit less nonsensical would probably be the best way to do it. And then go from there. And yes, we do need access right here. I just have to figure out what I want this to connect to, because remember we have these kind of disconnected lines here. This doesn't connect to anything currently, so I think what might make sense is for us to connect this to this housing, because this one does go kind of in the same general area. It would be the easiest thing for us to do at this exact moment in time. And if I want to put a zipline station here, that here is in range of that station. I don't know clearance-wise, because we have these giant tanks. I don't know if that's going to play nice, but for the sake of planning, let's check this out. Oh, cool. That's actually going to work. All right, let's find a slightly better location, because I'm not really in love with that. This is probably the furthest we can go. Yeah, that's the furthest we can go. If I move over here, is that in range? It is not. This is. It's not perfectly centered, but if I put it right here, that would be in range. And I think this is probably, you know, from an aesthetic point of view, this is probably the better option. So, I have the ability to just hit that delete button, let that stuff get all over on the ground. We also got an update that has the rubble disintegrate after a certain period of time, so rejoice! All of you who are extremely angry whenever there's rubble on the ground. It will not be a problem forever. But that does, I guess, kind of give us an incentive to harvest the desirable materials before we move on to other things. This is also empty, which can be removed. And I can redo some of these paths to make this look just a tiny bit nicer. And this, of course, does need to be connected here. Right at 30 meters. You love to see it. There's going to be a little tiny bit of a, you know, dangle your feet, lose your seat situation going on right here. But that is a problem for the beavers and not for me. So this will get connected. Again, it's not perfect, but it'll get everything connected pretty nicely here. And I think we can continue expanding some other stuff. So no real, you know, predefined goal for today outside of just don't make anything worse and keep making some interesting stuff, which is most likely going to end up with bad water diversions and all of that stuff. So again, like I said, this one and this one are taken care of. We've already decided that this one is fine like this, at least for right now. And then we have other things that we'd like to get connected as well. Now, if we come back over here, now this has been a topic of discussion for a variety of reasons, where we've been trying to figure out how in the world this ended up flooded so much. It's not an issue now. It's been solved to most of a degree. But the consensus seems to be that this gravity battery is not filled, so it has no ability to move, so the beavers have no ability to get to that tile to build anything. So, easiest way to solve that issue is just to let this recharge during a drought. I mean, I could pause these aquifer drills and that would slowly recharge these, but it's going to do that anyway during a drought. 90% sure. We'll check back. But the idea that some of you guys have is to put in water wheels in this channel here and just to let this kind of self-perpetuate. And we can definitely do that. We have the ability to build wheels. Obviously, there's no float, so it's not going to give us an estimate. But it would not be that hard. And there's not going to be this much flow coming through here to, you know, necessitate widening this. In fact, it's going to be easier to narrow it. So if we were to do this, then we can have, I don't know, a couple of these wheels just in a row here. If I did one here, one here, one here, that might actually be just about enough. And all I would have to do is get that hooked up somewhere. It's actually almost directly in line with the windmill as it stands now. I don't think that is a bad idea to get this thing hooked up just a tiny bit better. So, seeing that we don't have to have a vertical column as opposed to a horizontal column, what am I even saying? We don't have to have a thing set up here any differently than how it has been. So, remember these are... You know what? That's a better idea. These are platforms that... No, wrong words. Use your words. Figure it out. These intersect with each other now. Scientists will study why my brain cannot do things anymore, but that is a problem for someone with a medical degree and not me. That's going to go right there and add a little bit more power. And in keeping with the look and feel here, it shouldn't be visible if this pool is full enough to turn the wheels. And that's going to allow us to, first of all, let me click on this. It's going to allow us to get things hooked up in a way that's not going to be incredibly ugly. Maybe just a little ugly. But again, that should not be an issue. Let me get this in. Yes, that's going to be the easiest way. There's going to be a little bit in here that's kind of just... Ugh, but it's fine, is what it is. Let's leave this unbuilt so they can actually make their way through here. I need that to go there, and then I need all of this, just one piece at a time, to get brought in. I also need to pause these wheels. Despite the information in the discussion and the debate about the priority system, I still don't trust it. I think I understand how it works now. You know how this goes. It is regrettably always a magnet for problems. So what we can do while they're working on that is come back over here and discuss a little bit of what I was talking about last time with adding additional lidos and building out this area. Since we have access to dirt, we can actually make this look substantially better by putting some of that in there. And I know I said I wasn't going to do a whole lot of terraforming, and I wouldn't consider this to be a lot of terraforming. It's just terraforming. We're not leveling entire mountains or anything. But if I do something like that, then that's going to give me the opportunity, first of all, remember where the Lido is. Second of all, put that in there, flip that so the doorway's in the correct spot. And that's going to make this look just a touch better. And still keep, to my knowledge, this symmetrical for the most part. This needs one more piece taken out. The height of 2, and I think I will do that. But that's going to improve things a lot. I know we don't really have enough beavers to justify having, what, 4 or 5 of these? But it's fine. Let's get this on triple speed. Check back in on our tunnel beavers here. Yeah, they could use a few more path segments to help them along. Check back in here on how, that's the wrong button, on how this is going. Still draining through here as intended, so we don't fill this up. This, of course, we'll check back in like a cycle and a half or something. But that's doing just fine. About to have drought time here. We have plenty stored. We're in no danger of any of that being a problem. And, yeah, all this dirt is in place. And we have a 5-day drought. Simple stuff. They can't reach this. That is a little bit annoying. We'll have to do that later. Get something situated there. I wonder what would take the least amount of resources. Coming in from above? Is that going to... Is it going to reach all the way? It will. Okay, yeah. Who cares? It's still kind of cool. We'll let them do that. And now that that's in place... I know I could put windmills right next to the paths, but I want to see... Is this overkill? You better believe it's overkill. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. You know, there's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. How many times have I said that one? Probably too many for some of your preferences, but that's fine. I like stupid nonsense like this. I think it looks cool. Feel free to disagree. That's always allowed. For all of you saying, you don't have enough power, you don't have enough power. Oh, we're going to have enough power. You can rest assured. We will. We will have the power. We will have considerable quantities of power. And I can hide this on this side, and then this won't look quite as ugly from over here. Oh, what fun. I believe now we can put this back in here. Or no, because it's still... Okay, there's not quite enough clear. I got an achievement. That's ... awesome. Reach average well-being of 40. Well, thank you, game. I appreciate it. I love these achievements. I've only unlocked about a third of them so far, because I haven't opened an Iron Teeth playthrough in 1.0. I'm sure I'd get almost all the rest if I did that. But it's kind of neat to see those come in real time. So we can let them, you know, take care of that. Come back in and check on these guys once again. Yeah, you know, they're making some decent progress. We'll let them keep going on that. How much of this is left? 2.5. Okay, that's going to be the rest of the episode. We can just kind of ignore this now. Okay, that's looking good. Beaver boom. There we go, folks. There we go. So that is looking pretty nice. If I wanted to take one more of these out, then I could put yet another one of these Litos here. I don't know that we need to have that many more, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know, man. I do remember somebody making a request that I can bury this, which, this being this thing. You know, we definitely can. It is very possible. If I just pause this so I don't go insane looking or listening to the sounds, I can demonstrate to you just how easy that is. All we'd have to do is build up there, and then it does have to have 3 spots above it. We could very easily just do that. Does that look better? I don't know. I personally don't think so. If enough of you want it, then I'll do it, but something about having this just extremely simple, extremely large, kind of foreboding reminder that, yes, there is an entire universe of suffering and just nasty garbage down there, held back with a little bit of clamping force. Is maybe going to make these beavers swimming up here think twice about, you know, making people angry who can, you know, get down there and unscrew some stuff. But okay, that's maybe a little dark for this game, but I think we can leave this here and still be fine. So this area is looking good. We've got the mud pits, we've got the agoras, we've got these different statue things. We have the ability to put some other stuff in here, and there's also, of course, detailers, dance halls, all that. I did say we were going to do dance halls. So, you know, I probably should do that. This is a drain I don't want to mess with. If I just put a regular dance hall at the end here, is that boring? I guess I have to be careful about how close I get to those two things there. But we can also do carousels. We don't really have power over here. We could. We absolutely could if we choose to, but I'm going to, for right now, choose not to do that. Let's leave some room here. That is 4. Let's leave 5. So that would bring me up to here. Pop that there, and then it's going to give us an opportunity to put a little bit of decoration here. We could put some banners here. I don't really have much of an idea in terms of what to stick on these. I probably should, you know, put some more stuff on these. Ooh, and terrabangs. You never see those anymore. Well, barring some sort of other idea, it'll just be a parade of my face here. Feel free to make suggestions of your own. We got the ever-reliable hedges, and then in the corners we could always put some shrubs. They're not going to get any area of effect bonus from this, being that far out. But it is going to look nicer. We've got beaver statues we can do as well. I just haven't really done much here. So what I could do is stick a couple of those right there. I know I don't have to have 2 of them to get the area of effect, but that does hit everybody in the... I did not inhale chamber there. And then, jeez, I gotta be careful with some of that stuff. Lanterns, probably also not a bad idea. And, okay. Stick those in there. We can have some other paths come out this way, if we feel so inclined. Probably not a bad spot to put in some detailers either. Just right there. You already know we gotta have Gary, and we gotta have this idiot here. So, that is some degree of improvement over here. I think we can all agree that is better than what was before. And now, we can turn the detailers into a little bit of a, you know, hangout relaxing space. Beavers don't have barber shops, so I imagine this is like the equivalent of a tattoo parlor. Just hanging out. Somebody's getting stuff applied to their tail, you know, that's just totally normal stuff. Let's come back over here to the tunnel and check on our progress. Alright, I believe if I get this in place, that should be enough access to get them to do the entire rest of the tunnel. So we'll come back and see that. How are we looking over here in the ugly land? Wow, look at this. Look at this, folks. I sure like to see that. Okay, we need one more of these large windmills. Get this last wheel put in here. And then, once we get this whole thing connected, this, folks, this is going to be a lot of power. These two right here, wow. Yeah, all of these connected right now are over 1,000 HP, and then this is another 645, which should be... Wait a minute, this isn't connected to everything? Did I make errors? I never connected it! Oh, I remember why I hadn't connected it, because I wanted to make sure that they put in these, what do you call them? Still too far. Oh, because some genius didn't put this in. Alright, that should help solve a lot of our problems right there if I get that taken care of. Looks like that's good. Yeah, let's unpause this power shaft, get those all hooked up. And then, once this is done, then hopefully we see a beaver come down here and build the rest of that thing, because I would like to avoid flooding, if at all possible. Somebody's walking down there. I see hammer action. Alright, let's find out. Let's find out. That's an impermeable floor. Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Look at that. We're making 20. Wow, that literally says 23. 2,300 HP. There you go. This doesn't line up. Yes, I am aware. It hurts me just as much as it hurts you. Which in reality is 0, but in our minds, you know how that works. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. We do have a Badwater rig. This was, at least one person left a comment saying, hey, you cut off all your Badwater stuff. It's like, well, yes, we did. However, this works. And 2 beavers seem to be doing a good enough job of keeping that supplied. No real reason for concern there. Maybe at some point we can expand what's happening here, but I think for now it is fine. Yeah, I think we can pretty safely get rid of this Lido. We're not going to need that there. For a while this was 0-0. We're looking perfect, but we do need to keep adding beavers, so I would like to I'd like to do that in the most logical way possible. Okay, cycle 30. Did we finish the tunnel? Not quite. They should still be able to reach this. I know this is like a really, really long route for them to go. That's fine. Beaver Hospital. We got 11 injured beavers. We have more than 11 beds. We already established that. I think it is probably a good idea for us to plant just a few more of these. We don't need them right now, but you never know when you're going to have the opportunity to make better use of things. So let's just unpause this. Get those things put in. It will improve the look and feel of this area just a touch. And it only takes a very short amount of time to get that accomplished. And it's done, and so the forester can be paused. Very cool. So now this is making... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 250, 260 HP each. Very, very good. Look at that. Now we're going to have all these gravity batteries charged up. We're going to have a tremendous amount of power coursing through everywhere. Look at that. Power supply of over 6,000. That is tremendous. This should be, yeah, just about done. Take a sip of water real quick. And we should, in short order, see this get exploded. But no one's going to finish it because it's the middle of the night. And these beavers want to go to bed. So, we'll let them do that. And then, so we did get all of this connected. I know there's more opportunities to do stuff over here. So what we're going to have to do now is just kind of let things play out for a little bit. I don't have anything to time-lapse, so I'm not going to do that, but I would like to see, I would like to see if this reliably stays about 250, 260 each. I know, I mean, if these are fully powered, then these are going to go just constantly all the time. And I don't think we have enough drain on the power network right now reliably to outpace our generation. But if that does happen, this will slow down. And I know there's a couple of you who've been leaving comments saying I need to have these things completely disconnected. And I don't know, probably that is, in theory, a smarter option. But if we overbuild production, then there's no penalty for that. We can just have a whole lot of power production and not have to worry about it. I think that's the easier thing to do long term. So this is, of course, still going to take time to drain out. If we wanted to, we could build a tunnel to drain it, but I don't have anything going on over here. I can wait another 2 cycles to get that finished. What I would like to do is continue rerouting some of this bad water stuff, like right here with this drain, so that we can use this aquifer. I think that would be smart to have as many of these activated as we can. This one's completely blocked off. We don't have to worry about that. We scroll all the way down here. There is nothing in this area in terms of bad water shunting. And around here, there is not another set of drains. The closest set of drains is over here that we've already dealt with. So this would be an entirely new tunnel. And I don't think I can tunnel underneath the geothermal vent. Yeah, that is a strong no. So, I'm actually not sure. Based on using diagonals, I think it's this is closer, the outlet is closer to this side than it is this side. So, I think it's probably going to be shorter to go this way, but it's not going to let me go through this. And it's not a bad tide. It's actually pretty early in a temperate cycle, so if we're going to start, this is probably the best time to do it. So let's see, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. I'm going to dynamite up here. I don't have an access, so I will need to provide a pathway down. Is that going to give me clearance? There it is. And I probably should be building, not tube-ways. I should be building zip lines to get over to these areas. But since you have to get to the area first, it kind of defeats a whole lot of the purpose of doing this. I will, though, since we have this zipline station here, I will build in areas that I can access a little bit of a connection here, and then I think if I can get one... Oh, that's not going to work anyway. That should be okay for right now. This will not be a permanent thing, but getting that put in there. And then once we have this taken care of, I'm going to build the spiral staircase directly down that 2x2 hole, because that is the easiest thing to do. Obviously, if there's a bad tide, it's a bad idea to have beavers down there. But you know how this goes. We do what we can. We've got these things, and those things. I don't think... Yeah, I know, very scientific. Since they're pretty close to the zipline stations, I don't think we need to worry about putting other resupply things here. Maybe... do I have dynamite over here? It's hard to see. I do not. So that... Beaver, boom. Oh, they can't reach this one. Well, that was an oversight. Only real way to solve that problem is by doing this. Anyway. Dynamite storage. I have 421. That can go there. I know I could have copied. I just... Look, 4 years of muscle memory not having the copy function, I'm probably not going to use it. I know that's going to make somebody angry, but... It's fine. It's just easier for me to do this. So, having extract and explosives and all that, we already have the planks and stuff here. It's going to be just peachy clean, peachy fine, whatever the stupid saying is that I already forgot. Let's get this triple dynamite taken care of just as soon as we can. Blast that out, and I think I might have one more to do, or I might be at the very bottom, depending on how bad I am at counting. Go all the way down. Okay, one more. That is substantially better than I thought. So they're going to get that taken care of, and then at that point we'll lay out the tunnel. And then, yes, friends, it will be time for a time lapse. Beaver, boom. Go all the way down. Now we are going to go... Oh, see, now I look at it from this angle, it looks much closer to this other side, but if I go perfectly... It is closer to this side. Now this is the perfect... I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Probably an evergreen statement, honestly. But if that goes here, all the way out, and I do mean all the way out. All I have to do is have the spiral staircase end on the level down here. Oh, I have this flipped, don't I? Well, I guess it depends. If you want to follow medieval castle design, you want the defenders to be able to use their right hands to swing their weapons, because most people were right-handed, which means this is the correct orientation, but that's not how I'm used to seeing these. Or is it completely wrong? You know what? Well, I would have been killed like immediately in medieval times anyway, so I don't think this matters. So, let's put in a platform there. Follow this all the way around. I've already made a ridiculous mistake. See, this is why I don't do this. Oh, I didn't use the double. What? Oh, boy. You know, when I was in school, somehow they put me in what was called the gifted program. And then one kid told me one day, he's like, you know why you're gifted, right? It's because they wouldn't have paid for you. I was like, okay, well, that's kind of mean, but it's also kind of funny. Anyway, I say that for no particular reason, having nothing whatsoever to do with the inability of myself to figure out how to do things here. Wow, I did not think that was going to connect. I'm actually really proud of that, and I have absolutely no reason to be. Oh, well, that's cool, though. So it's day 6. I am going to begin the time-lapse, and we're going to watch them get this thing blasted out, so we have one more of these bad water drains, bad tide drains, whatever the game calls these things, set up perfectly so it does not contaminate anything ever again. And then, hopefully, I don't have to pause this because of a bad tide coming in. We'll see what happens. But I will catch you on the other side of this time-lapse. All right, they finished our tunnel here. And, of course, we're in the middle of a drought. But let's go ahead and give them the opportunity to clean up a little bit of their mess here. Just remove all of those, get all of the planks back that we can. We probably don't have a whole lot of places to stick those, but it's fine. They're going to come grab that. They're going to come grab, well, something. And if not, it's going to disintegrate, and we won't have to worry about it ever again. Cool. So, that's that one solved. I know there's still plenty of other stuff that has to be taken care of, but we've also made some nice progress on getting this evaporated, and could possibly, depending on circumstances, be gone by the end of this episode, which would be very, very nice indeed. Would make this look a whole lot better. And if we can get this aquifer pumping some clean water, then this could be a very lovely clean water lake. So let's not start that yet. I do want this to get evaporated first. But we can begin the process of clearing this out, removing all of our other stuff from here. And I don't think we're going to need to have the spiral stairs, so I probably am going to get rid of those. Did they? Oh, they did clean up. Wow, they cleaned up some of these planks. I did not think they were going to do that. So let's give them a little bit of a fighting chance to get some more. I'm going to pause half of the lumber mills. Let them take care of that. We probably could start building an earth recultivator. It's only episode 16. That's normally like one of those things that ends the series. So I don't want to get there yet. But we have 115,000 science. We have to do something. We have to do something else, right? We've unlocked all of these, and to my knowledge, we've now built all of them. We could get into bots. I don't know if you guys want to see bots or not. But outside of that, we haven't made books. Is that something we probably should start doing? In fact, we have the... You know what? We have the technology. We can, if we so choose, come in here and start making some books. I have to have somewhere to stick this that isn't going to look incredibly stupid. I've got paper. Huh. Why not? Why not put the books down here? How about that? I'll put 2 of these. Of course, since we don't have bots, they can both make books. But now I have these gears would be great places to store books and paper, just really close by. Set that to supply. That rhymes. And I need to put books in various places over here. Is there anywhere? I already made a storage for books. Look how smart I am. Massive sarcasm, by the way. But that is, you know what? That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I can put another one of these somewhere over here if I can find a decent place for it. Yeah, the dance hall. Maybe not a great place for books. Right here probably is also not a tremendously great place for books. But I've got you know what? I got these 2x3 spots right here. Would not be bad. Would not be bad to have book storage. We don't need a second book storage, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. We can put in some roofing right there. It won't look too bad. And we do need to have some food storage over here. And I think I'd like to come up with a decent looking food storage plan before I get too far into that. This is getting pretty close to evaporating too. We got a little bit more than 1 block high there, so that's probably not going to be done today. How are we looking on? I'm in the wrong spot. This is almost completely slam full. This is empty, so that can easily go away. In terms of extract, do I have... I do. I have enough for this, so... them getting rid of that probably means I can successfully pause this centrifuge for a little bit. And we're making books! I don't have a lot of storage for it, but we are, in fact, making books. These need somewhere to go. You know what? Easiest way to do this right now is just to stick a big old thing for books right here. Just 1,200 storage for books. Sounds like a plan. This will get emptied out over time. I could just, demolish it and just be done with it. But now that this is about as cleaned up as it's ever going to be, I mean, I guess they could come down here and grab some more. I want to get rid of these spiral staircases before it's too late. Okay, so before I get stuff going on to pump this out, I should probably consider how it's going to be powered. I know we have power like right here, so that's not an issue. It would not be super hard to get power to come up here. We already have this coming up that way. We already have this right here too. How do I want to go about doing this? Yes, I guess I could kind of do the same thing I did over here. we do have a pretty decent, honestly, pretty decent power network. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this design set in motion, and time-lapse, probably not all of it, but a decent bit of putting this power in. And we'll see. I've still got some time on my recording tracker over here before this episode gets too unruly long, so we'll see what we can get accomplished. Alright, so we have a drought warning once again. We haven't had a bad tide in like, what, 2, 3 episodes? I don't know, I could have just forgotten. But this is finally all connected. So before we go up, I am going to get this sealed off. We do have dirt, so we might as well use it. Plug this hole back up because, as you may have noticed, I have impermeable floors on not 1, not 2, not 3, but every single level of this entire thing right here. Because I do not want things to be flooded that are not supposed to be flooded. As you can see here, there is no water. There's water here, but there's no water here. And at one point I did want that to have, you know, irrigation properties, but I think it's too much. I think things are just going to be unbearably chaotic if that's allowed to continue. So, that's blocked off again. And now, right on the very top of this, I am not waiting for this to get picked up anymore. Let's take everything out of this tunnel, spiral staircase, all that jazz. Gotta go. Every last piece. Because what's going to happen is this is going to be cordoned off with the help of some terrain blocks, so that this is only for bad water to go down. And then when we finally build our aquifer drill on top of here, this can get popped right there, and then right here, harmlessly into the back. Super, super easy. Super easy. And we've got all these planks on the ground. We're not going to need them. Who cares? Goodbye. They disintegrate in 15 days. They're all gone. Problem solved. So they're going to get all of this mess either removed or shoved off in the corner. That is not supposed to be pointed that way. Shoved off in the corner where we don't have to worry about it anymore until it disappears. It sure would be great if real-life problems got solved that way too. But now we're going to have this very clean, bad water-free area slowly filled with delicious, clean sparkle. I don't know if it's sparkling. Maybe it's carbonated. Maybe it's not. Now we're looking good. This zipline station is probably also going to go away at some point. But this is fully connected. And it's enjoying, for the time being, full power because we have our gravity batteries kind of making sure that everything can still operate until we have enough flow, you know, resumed and all this wind power and everything. It's working, though. For the time being, it is working. And I think this is where we need to leave today's episode. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything glaringly obvious from my notes here. You know, honestly, I think we got everything that I wanted to get at least. I know there's always stuff that people want me to take care of that I just don't have time every episode. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. We've got this nice and clean. There's metal over here if we want to get to it. And we can reroute this to be drinking water or whatever, but honestly, we're making some nice progress. This is now, what, the 3rd, 4th bad tide drain that's been completely shunted away from everything. This probably doesn't need to be completely enclosed, but you know how it goes. Yeah, that's going to be it, folks. I really appreciate you watching these videos. I know that it is a very long process to get these things accomplished. Let's actually take a look at this while we're ending the episode. But it is so much fun to get to go through this stuff each and every episode. Read your comments, listen to your feedback, do what I can to integrate that from those things that I can, and just enjoy the process of playing the game. Of course, beard boosters make it possible to do this without sponsors and without having to be beholden to the algorithm quite so much. And I'm always going to be thankful for those folks supporting the channel, supporting me, and making it possible for me to just have a good time playing with the beavers on the internet. And the stuff that we've been able to do because of their support is just absolutely incredible. And again, I'm always going to be thankful for them. But that's all the time I got for this one. whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.